Hello, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video, I'm going to give you 3 things you can learn from the Emma Raducanu backhand to help improve your backhand. Now, this video is courtesy of 12KGP Tennis on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe to their awesome channel. I've put their link in the description below. All right, let's go to a backhand 2 shots ago. This is just a perfect example of it. 3 things that I love about this backhand that I want you to copy, and there's more than just these 3 things, but I'm trying to make it simple here. The first thing is, notice the moment she sees the ball coming to her, she split steps, and immediately she gets sideways. Her belly button's facing sideways, her knees are facing to the side. She doesn't mess around with this. She split steps, she immediately sees the ball coming to her backhand side, and she gets her body sideways. You see a lot of recreational players waiting for the ball to bounce. And then once the ball bounces, that's when they get their body turned. You don't want to wait for the ball to bounce. The moment you see it's a backhand, get your body, and then your racket will go along for the ride as well. But get your body sideways. But then that coiling then has to turn into uncoiling. So you want to face to the side, but then when you're done hitting, notice she faces forward again. So when the ball comes to your backhand side, the moment you see it, get your body sideways, and then as you're hitting, rotate and face back forward again. Just that basic information is really going to help you instantly on your backhand side. The second thing has to do with when she begins her take back and the type of swing she uses. She has an early beginning to the take back, so she begins the take back early. That's partly due to her body turning early, but she has a continuous swing throughout the shot. You'll see this, and a lot of players get confused. There's a difference between leaving your house early for work and driving fast to work. Those are 2 different concepts, so you don't want to get them mixed up, right? So you want to think, leave early, but be smooth with your swing. This produces effortless power and makes sure that you're not late. Again, you see a lot of recreational players, they wait for the ball to bounce or even get to them, and then they frantically swing. That's not what you want. The moment you see the ball coming, begin the racket going back. Now, part of that is getting the body sideways, but another part is reaching back with your racket, as she's doing here. It's like she's reaching back to the camera with her racket. Now, this smooth, continuous swing is best done with the tip of the racket pointing up on the way back. You can see the tip of her racket is up, and that makes for a beautiful C swing. Now, it's a backward letter C because on the forehand, it's the actual C, but on the backhand, it is a backward letter C, but it's a loop swing that allows for continuous swing and continuous power. So get your body sideways, turn the racket back early, so begin early with a smooth, continuous swing. And the last thing that I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to demonstrate this in front of the camera, is I want you to look at this closed racket face. Look how her racket is tilted down. Few recreational players have their racket tilted down at this point on their backhand. They typically have their racket straight up and down, meaning they could actually balance a coin on the top edge of the racket and their strings are facing directly off to the side. You don't want that. You want your strings tilted down, and when your strings are tilted down prior to hitting, when you swing up the back of the ball and you drive up and through, you can see her racket going out of the screen. So she's swinging up. It means that the ball spins over itself for topspin and control. Now, to help me demonstrate this, I've got the Topspin Pro. You know what to do. Check out my affiliate link in the description below. I'll even pin it in the first comment. It would mean the world to me if you used my link to get one of these for at-home practice. All right, the first idea, get your body sideways and then turn back forward as you're hitting the ball. The moment the ball comes off your opponent's racket, get your body sideways. Whether you begin by going forward or you move back, that's going to be dependent on whether the ball brings you in or moves you back. But nevertheless, you got to get your body turning to the side. Now, you're going to be sideways, and then as you're hitting, you're going to rotate forward again. So face your opponent when they're hitting. As the ball is coming to you, get your body sideways, and then rotate into the shot. Getting your body to turn, and then unturn, coil, and then uncoil makes a world of difference on your backhand. The second idea, early racket prep, but a continuous swing. A lot of players think that those are contradictory. They're not. It's possible to leave your house early and drive continually to work. That's possible. It means that you don't rush. Why leave your house early for work? So you can take your time, right? We're going to begin the take back early the moment we see it come off our opponent's racket. But starting early means I get to have a continuous swing. What typically happens, I see with players who struggle on their backhand and they're late, is because they're waiting for the ball to bounce. Then they begin their racket on its way back, especially as your level of play rises and the ball comes faster and faster, or even if you're at a lower level, and that's fine, the ball comes deeper. If you're waiting for the ball to bounce, what if the ball bounces right next to you? And then you're still in your ready position and then the whole swing is frantic. When you see the ball come off your opponent's racket, begin the take back. And if you go smoothly back, and not super fast, but at a medium, slow to medium speed, you actually get a continuous swing and then get to use that energy to generate it, especially with the body rotation facing forward again. It's incredible racket speed that you can produce. So when you film yourself, which is what you should be doing to make sure you're doing these things, take your racket back early, but smoothly so that it's a continuous swing. The last thing, close your racket face. Prior to hitting the ball on a topspin shot, and this is forehand as well, the racket face should be closed. When the racket is closed, below contact and prior to contact, when you swing up to the ball, it produces a racket that's facing forward. Now, with the highest level players, and if you swing really fast, what you'll see is when they strike the ball, sometimes their racket face is a few degrees closed, which you can get away with if you swing fast enough, because that actually does help drag the ball up over the net. But nonetheless, you've got to get your strings to be tilted down. If your racket is on its edge, meaning I could take a coin and balance it on the frame, when I get to the ball, my racket's open and the ball tends to go out. And that's when you see people start to roll their racket, trying to get their strings to face forward, but rolling it and perfectly timing it, it's almost impossible. It's so much easier to make sure that your racket is closed and you just spin up the back of the ball and you can see the ball rotating. That's what's nice about the Topspin Pro. You can see and feel the spin and the friction with the strings like reacting with the ball. So focus on these three ideas on your backhand. The moment you see the ball come to your backhand side, get your body sideways and then rotate back forward as you're hitting. With your racket, begin the racket back early, but see if you can keep it smooth and continuous throughout the entire stroke so that you can really transfer that energy from body to racket to ball. And to keep the ball in with good topspin, close your racket face as you're circling around and drawing that C. Close your racket face at the bottom so that you can spin up the back of the ball. That gives you the control you're looking for. Watch me hit a couple here. Here's my split. I get sideways, continuous swing, and I spin. Work on your two-handed backhand. Film yourself and check to see what you're doing is actually what Emma Raducanu is doing, and get yourself a Topspin Pro. You do these things and there is no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.